Hey, it's Sally, and today I'm going to reveal the 3 secret stages of female attraction that have been proven by science. Pay close attention because the 3rd stage is where most men completely strike out. And it's exactly where the difference lies between being seen as just a friend or as someone absolutely irresistible. See, research from the early 2000s discovered something revolutionary. The way men and women experience desire is completely different. You guys usually start with physical desire, and then comes the arousal. It's that simple. But for women, the process is practically flipped. First comes security, then arousal, and only then do we get to conscious desire. It's like a ladder. If you skip a step, she's simply not going up. So, let's hit the first stage. Number 1, emotional security. Being perceived as creepy or threatening is the absolute death of attraction. And here's the problem. Most men don't even realize when they're being invasive. A group of researchers literally cataloged the scariest behaviors in social interactions. The top 3: staring before talking, touching way too frequently, and steering the conversation towards sex way too early. But let me show you something fascinating. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you do it. Think about Conan O'Brien, famous, wealthy, funny. Even so, he's sometimes seen as invasive with female guests. Why? Body language. Closed hands without showing his palms, head tilted down, invading personal space in those very first few seconds. All of that signals judgment and a sense of forced sexual tension. Now compare that to Craig Ferguson, also a host, similar age, average looks, but he generates completely different reactions. The secret? He leans back at first, creating space. He shows physical disinterest while keeping his legs pointed toward her, signaling a subtle interest. It's a game of controlled proximity. He only enters her space once he's already established comfort. And there's more. Craig makes sexual jokes too, but he never sounds predatory. Why? Because he never initiates the innuendo out of nowhere. He waits for the guest to say something that could be interpreted ambiguously, and then he makes a quick, witty comment. She's the one who opens the door. He just walks through it. If you're enjoying this level of depth, drop a like so I know you want more content like this. Now let's move to the second stage. Number 2, physical arousal. Once she feels safe, she enters a neutral but receptive state. This is where you need to hit her sensory triggers. And no, I'm not talking about muscles or height. I'm talking about details the female brain is hardwired to notice. The series The Last Summer Party was praised by women worldwide because it understood this perfectly. Almost every romantic scene focuses on specific parts of the male body: eyes, back, forearms, and hands. It's not a coincidence. Studies show these are exactly the areas women rank as the most erotic. But don't worry, you don't need hand model hands. You just need to use them more. In typical movies, kisses are just romantic milestones. But in this show, women raved about the kissing scenes because the characters' hands are always active, touching her face, her neck, her waist. It amplifies the whole sensory experience. If you're in a relationship, use your hands during intimate moments. If you're not, you need to establish gradual physical contact. How do you know when it's appropriate? There's a research-based heat map that shows touch zones based on the level of intimacy. But here's the trick. You need plausible deniability. There's a huge difference between grabbing her waist out of nowhere and gently touching her waist while guiding her through a door. Same physical sensation, totally opposite perceptions. One feels like chivalry, The other feels like an invasion. Same principle for touching her thigh. Just putting your hand there randomly is weird, but resting it there lightly while you lean in to whisper something, that's magnetism. And look, touch isn't the only weapon. A 2024 study proved that every minute of mutual eye contact increases attraction by about 35%. But it's not just about staring. Use the triangle method. Look at one eye, then the other, then the lips, and back to the first eye. This creates sexual tension without looking predatory. This is exactly the kind of depth I get into in my complete guide, Secrets of Attraction. I show you the touch patterns, the exact timing, and the micro expressions you need to watch for. The link is in the description. Now, for the final stage where everything is decided. Number 3, conscious desire. This is where she doesn't just feel attracted, she wants you. And this doesn't happen by accident. There's a true story that illustrates this perfectly. The first Duke of Loas, a guy with totally average looks, was actually imprisoned for being too good at creating female desire. Seriously, he seduced princesses, the king's mistresses, and even the Duchess of Meunier, one of the richest women in Europe. How? He used the technique of presence and absence. One day he was romantic and attentive, the next he was cold and distant. Women spent hours trying to decode him. Does he like me? Did I do something wrong? Was he just being polite? This is called cognitive dissonance. Our brains hate uncertainty. So when we think a lot about someone without understanding why, the brain justifies it by creating feelings. We end up believing we like the person just to make sense of the mental time we're spending on them. But be careful. This doesn't mean being manipulative. It means having your own life, your own interests, and not being constantly available. It means creating anticipation. It means she needs to feel like winning you over is an achievement, not a given. Look, if you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of men. They still think attraction is just luck or genetics, but you now know it's psychology, timing, and calibrated presence. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lesson, because I'm going to show you how to use these 3 stages in real-world situations, from the first date to long-term relationships. Remember, you don't need to be the best-looking, the richest, or the funniest guy. You just need to understand how the female mind works, and now you do. Use this knowledge with responsibility and respect. See you next time.